In 1971, a diary appeared that would change how America thought about teenagers, drugs, and authenticity itself. Go Ask Alice was marketed as the real diary of a 15-year-old girl who accidentally ingested LSD, descended into addiction and sex work, and died of an overdose. The diary itself never names the girl. The title actually comes from Jefferson Airplane's song White Rabbit. You know, technically Alice is the scientist and the girl is Alice's monster, but she's been referred to as Alice for decades, so we'll use that name for clarity. Sorry, prescriptivists. It sold over 3 million copies by 1978 and became required reading in schools across America. It was repeatedly challenged and age-restricted for being filthy smut by politicians who had never heard of the Streisand effect. Parents clutched it like a manual for understanding their terrifying children. Teenagers passed dog-eared copies between classes, either horrified or fascinated by Alice's descent. The timing was perfect. In October 1969, a woman named Diane Linkletter fell from her kitchen window and died. She was 20 years old. Her father was Art Linkletter. If you're not familiar, think of him as an early talk show host, one of the most recognizable faces on American television throughout the 50s and 60s. He'd hosted House Party for 25 years. He was a wholesome, avuncular household name, and he had an explanation for his daughter's death: LSD. Specifically, LSD flashbacks. This was a concept that dominated drug panic in the late 60s and early 70s, the idea that acid highs could spontaneously resurface days or weeks after you'd used it, sending you back into a hallucinatory state without warning. You could be doing anything, driving, holding a knife, and suddenly you'd be tripping again. The drug had permanently rewired your brain. You were never safe. This was, to be clear, not at all how LSD works, but it was what parents believed. And Art Linkletter, grieving and searching for meaning, gave that belief a face and a story. His daughter had tried LSD at some point. Months later, she fell from a window. Therefore, the acid came back and killed her. Now, there's a lot more to Diane Linkletter's story. Her brother-in-law had died just months before. By several accounts, she'd struggled for years to connect with her famous father and feel seen by him. She was dealing with things that had nothing to do with a tab of acid she'd taken at a party. But Linkletter had a platform and a simplifying, emotionally resonant narrative, and the narrative was LSD kills innocent girls. He became a spokesman for the war on drugs. Now, Linkletter would later realize he was wrong about a lot of this and relax his stance, but at the time it didn't matter. Nixon seized on stories like these for his culture war, using drug panic to criminalize Black communities and anti-war protesters. The fear was racialized in ways that were sometimes explicit and sometimes just hovering at the edges. The corruptors who might dose your innocent white daughter were coded as Black and as countercultural and often as queer. Go Ask Alice delivered exactly what that panic needed. Alice is white, middle class, and very sheltered. She doesn't seek out drugs, she doesn't make bad choices, she's a victim from page one. She gets dosed at a party against her will. Someone does this to her, and once it's done, she's doomed. There's no harm reduction here or any sense of navigation or complexity. Just if drugs touch you, even without your consent, you will be destroyed. Now, a major source for this section is Rick Emerson's meticulously researched 2022 book, Unmask Alice. It's really good and I highly recommend it.